everybody. Happy Friday. How is everyone doing? Can you hear me? I didn't think to check. Okay, good. You guys can hear me. Hi, puppy. You're not on camera. You're not on camera, are you? You're way over there. You want to go to where people can see you? Hi, sweetheart. Wah! Hi. Okay. All right. We got to pay the puppy toll. We're paying the puppy toll. Yes. Of pets. Yeah. Hi, girl. You're so sweet. Such a sweet baby. Come here. Okay. And I'm going to put you right there. Alrighty. Hi. Had to rearrange. Oh, no. Not receiving enough video. Oh, dear. Hopefully that isn't going to be an ongoing problem. Let me see if I can fix that before we get too far into it. Oh, the dog camera is just working. Look at that. But Bazita, you're on camera, darling. You were on camera. People can see you. Look at that. Wow, wow, wow. I don't know if people on YouTube can see me, though. Okay. Let's see. Can people see me? Let's make sure. I think people can. I guess I gotta, yeah, it just says error. Not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Well, I'm not sure what's causing that. Okay, so we're just gonna leave that as it is. I'm gonna do the pop-out chat. Oh, and I just need to start. Because we didn't stream last week because, oh my god, y'all, I've had... This week is just... I think every bad thing that can happen to a person has, like, happened to me this week. Other than I don't think my identity got stolen. I don't think my identity got stolen and nobody died. But short of that, everything else has happened that could possibly happen to a person this week. Oh my goodness. Yes, fur baby alert indeed, for sure. Okay, welcome, Egg. Glad you could make it. Glad you all are here. So, my name's Evie Lupine, and every Friday here on YouTube, we do a little interactive Q&A, and you all ask questions, and I answer them, and it's a fun time, and we participate in the chat. Now, YouTube has some new features for how we handle it. Generally speaking, you all will put questions in the chat, and then I will answer them in the order they come in, and people also contribute their answers and responses and follow-ups and so on. But YouTube has recently, in the last like 3 weeks, launched a new feature that makes this easier / more complicated. And now I don't see the option for it. Where is the option for me to start a Q&A? Okay, here, we're going to start a Q&A. All right, I've started a Q&A. And then I don't know if that'll do something here. And I'll pin a message in the top of the chat so you guys can see that as well. And then, and you can also send me a super chat if you would like, and then it'll read your question out loud, and then when we get to it right away. And thank you so much, Sean, for gifting 5 members at the beginning of the stream. Welcome to all of our new members. We have a membership program here on YouTube, and it's very simple. It's literally so you can get access to our cute emotes in the chat, and that is the only benefit I am offering you. But they are very cute emotes. And I am trying to figure out how to add a capybara emote because one of our co-pilots for this experience is Morabella, the princess / ballerina capybara. So think about that. Your 99-cent donation via membership goes directly to capybara's coffers, the royal treasury. So that way, what do capybaras eat? Like lettuce? Probably they like lettuce and carrots and stuff, I think. I don't know what their actual diet in the wild is like. That's what I seem to see them eating on like social media and like, you know, zoos and stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for the gift memberships. And we also have another member here as well, which is Martin Gonzalez, who got one on their own. Thank you, thank you. But outside of that, Our Q&A is here to answer questions about anything related to kink, BDSM, dating, relationships, polyamory, so on and so forth. And it is whatever y'all want to talk about. If I don't want to answer a question, I won't answer it. But otherwise, the main things that I don't answer are going to be essentially just like medical questions or like therapy questions. So if you're like, you know, dealing with something that's more intense or beyond what I have the capacity to do, I will tell you and we will move on. But other than that, it is an open floor, and I'm not an expert on everything, but I do try to give the best answers that I possibly can. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and get into it. I'm here with my co-pilot, which is my giant green water bottle. Occasionally it's purple, but today it's green. And I may end the stream like 5 or 10 minutes early because I have something to go run out to do when I want to I'll like check traffic and see how traffic is before I decide if I need to end the stream early or not, but just as an FYI there as well. So let me see here. We have some super chats. Thank you so much. And we have the Q&A feature, and I will go ahead and go. You don't have to use the Q&A feature because I know it's like confusing to navigate to it, but if that's kind of like the best way to get your question highlighted, and it just saves it because sometimes when we go down in the chat, it can end up like losing messages and things like that as we go on. Yes, we are in the house. We are here and ready to party. Windows 10 error chime. Oh, did you hear that? Because I didn't. Because when I stream, I have my headphones plugged into my audio output. So actually, if there's something that pops up as a Windows error on my computer, I don't hear it at all. So you will have to tell me if that pops up again. That might have been what it is. Yes, Bandit Cam is in effect. We are here for the furball, indeed. Yeah, audio goods, videos good. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that. Sometimes at the beginning of the stream, things can be rough with the stream quality, but it looks like we are at a healthy stream amount, so we should be good on that front. I mean, YouTube usually makes stuff worse with updates, so, you know, I'm not surprised. Yeah, I mean, I felt like they're adding features to compete with Twitch and other streaming platforms that do various other things, and the ability to see people's chat history, I think, has been a good update. And the Q&A feature, I think, I understand the desire to have it in like a completely different like chat window for people who get like thousands of viewers and like hundreds of questions. But, you know, when it's a smaller stream, I think it's not as obvious like where people should go to like answer questions. And then I have to like stop and explain it. I think you have to like, I don't even know how you actually, like, as a viewer, use the question function. I think you have to toggle. If you go, it says, like, top chat, and you can scroll between top chat, live chat questions, and fan funding, and then it'll, like, highlight which one. Like, if I change it. Oh, no, actually, it doesn't. If I change it on my end, it actually doesn't show up on my OBS screen. So that'll just have to be a mystery, I suppose. Oh, and as always, I usually put some ideas in the title for things that we could talk about. I'm currently working on a couple of videos about punishments and reward structures and relationship structures for power exchange that I'm pretty excited about. And so thoughts about that have been very much on my brain. I thought we could talk about it, but you can ask questions about anything. It does not have to be related to what is in the title at all. Oh, Taco Bell tacos are $1.99? Wow. Okay, so for the price of how do I phrase that? You get 2 of my memberships for the same price as 1 Taco Bell taco. I think that's the best way of phrasing it. $2 for a single taco. Inflation. Oh, thank you. Carol sent 5 gift memberships as well. Thank you so much. It's very generous. Thank you. And welcome to all the new members. Hopefully you enjoy. Oh, you also get a little emote by your name. You get a little Pomeranian badge in one of various colors by your name if you become a member. So you know what? 2 benefits. I lied. There's 2 things. Yeah, I just made it getting out of work. TGIF. Hope you had a good week at work. Got it on the bar at the top. Oh, okay. Good. We needed to add a new treat fund just for the capybara, double treat fund action. Oh, like, you know, on TikTok, I don't know if this is a thing anymore. People used to do like TikTok live battles where like you would raise money and then whoever raised more money would win. So like one that's for like Bandit versus the Capybara and like see who wins. I've just like kept this number because it's entertaining to me that it's like such a long decimal point. But like maybe it's time to reset it and have it be the Bandita / Princess Capybara Treat Fund. Maybe that would be something that makes more sense. Did the Q&A thing disappear for anyone else? Oh, did it disappear? Is that because I pinned another message? Here, let me unpin it. Okay, maybe I when I did the, maybe that's what happened. Is I did the Q&A feature and then I did a pinned comment afterwards and it like covered up the highlight for the Q&A. So I got rid of the other pinned message. Bandita is also my co-pilot. I can't have more than one co-pilot, right? Oh, there she goes. She's going by the door. Yeah. You may have to close the pin message to get it pop back up, disappear on. Oh, okay, that is what it was. At least on mobile. Okay, yeah. On a browser, you can see both of them, but maybe on the mobile version, you can only see one. So there you go. I fixed it. Ooh, Lynx, great question. Do you have any suggestions for solo play for someone who can't find a play partner? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I love talking about solo play. So there's a lot of play that I think works really well for solo play. And first of all, it depends on what kind of thing you want to do, what you like playing with. And it can actually be a good way of learning your body, understanding where your pain tolerance at, what types of sensations you enjoy. So my go-to recommendations for solo play, one is bondage, but there's a big caveat with that, which is nothing that restricts your airways, nothing around the neck. Don't tie up both your arms, okay? Maybe one arm if you're feeling frisky about it, okay? But I would not fully restrict yourself in bondage. But you could have a really fun time doing bondage, just doing stuff on your torso, your legs, maybe incorporating one arm and just keeping it there. It can be really fun. Or doing things that are like restrictive bondage devices, but again, aren't like, you know, going around your neck and things like that. So you can do self-bondage with saran wrap, you could do self-bondage with vet wrap, you can do self-bondage with bondage tape. You don't necessarily have to do rope. I think people get intimidated by like, oh, shibari is so complicated, which it is to a certain extent, but you can also do things that are really fun and enjoyable using either household items like saran wrap or vet wrap and bondage tape are like, they get pretty spendy. Like if you want to do a little bit of it once, it's like, okay, that's nice for a treat, but it adds up. So you can get it in bulk if you really like it, but you can do like just, you know, like a leg binder and things like that to you get the sense of doing bondage solo in a way that's safer. But obviously, if you want to do solo bondage, there's a lot of risk associated with that. I would make sure that somebody knows what you're doing, set up a safe call, make sure you have safety shears that are like right next to you that you can use. A lot of people who do solo bondage also like wear the safety shears like around their neck on a chain, so that way it's really accessible and easy to get to no matter what. And also other people can very easily see where it is if in case like, you know, you get stuck and a roommate has to like come in and help you out. Like you don't have to be like, it's over there by the thing. You can just be like, it's on, you're just wearing it. It's right there. So that makes it easy. As far as pain play for solo play, it can be a little bit trickier to find stuff that works for that, just because when you're hitting yourself, you anticipate it happening. I think that changes the perception of pain as a result. And a lot of thrown implements are harder to do. Some floggers you can do over the back and you can flog your own back. But for implements to use for pain play, canes are a great one. I think riding crops are good. Paddles are a really good choice as well, especially if you like stuff on the legs, the back of the thighs. Obviously, that works really well. Things like clothespins are a good option because I think you're not striking yourself with a clothespin, so the sensation tends to be pretty similar with clamps and clothespins as doing it yourself as somebody else doing it to you. So that's a good option for pain as well. And that can be like from very mild all the way over to pretty intense if you like more intense pain play. And you can also incorporate that with other things. Another good option that can be either a pain play thing or more sensation play is wax play. I really like doing wax play solo. I actually prefer to do wax play solo. I don't know what it is about wax play, but like whenever somebody else does it to me, I just want to like bite them. Like if there's like other toys, even like whips or like really intense pain play, nothing else besides wax play makes me like activates my fight or flight response like that intensely, that quickly, where I'm like just gotta wiggle it out and like I don't know what it is. But solo I find it to be really fun, especially because it can be kind of artsy. You can get lots of different colors. It's very meditative as well, but then you can also very easily titrate the experience to be more or less intense depending on the type of wax you're using, how far away you're dripping it from, how many candles you're using, what body parts you're doing it on. Just, you know, make unless you want to have a bonus added painful, annoying wax hair removal, just make sure you shave whatever area you're going over first, because otherwise you may have clumps of hair that come out with the wax. It depends. Some waxes that you might use for wax play, they stay soft enough even when they're room temperature to where you can kind of like slaw them off of your skin and like through the hair, but then you're still risking the little bits of like hard wax like ending up in your shower drain, so it's not ideal. But wax play I think is a good one to go to for pain play. If you have a medium flexible, you can totally put yourself in the tortoise shell harness. Keeps your arms and legs free. Oh, like the karate? You mean like the dragonfly harness? Or is that, I don't know, something that's called like a tortoise shell harness, so I'm not familiar with what that is. But yeah, there's lots of like just torso and chest harnesses that are designed to be used solo or can be used that way. A lot of harnesses can also be tied backwards, where maybe normally all the knots would be on the back and all the frictions would be on the back, and then it's more decorative in the front. You can also tie them the other way around too for a lot of them, and have the design in the back, but then have everything up front where you can get to it really easily. So there's definitely options for if you want to do rope bondage as well. And then I think sensation play gets looked over a lot for solo play. And I think that's a good one to start with, especially if you're new to kink in general, because it's not intense. You can do it DIY pretty easily, and you're not going to end up with marks afterwards anywhere that you know, somebody might see. So things like ice cubes and feather ticklers and all sorts of different like kitchen and beauty appliances are great for this. So you can get like meat tenderizers or nail files or sandpaper or different types of tape. And like, I just like sensation play. I'm a big proponent of it. I think that people overlook it a little too much. Something that's maybe kind of on the spectrum of sensation play but more intense is like knife play is also fun to do solo too. Especially if you're also doing wax play, you can get a knife that's used to like scrape off the wax, and that's another way you can make it a bigger scene. But yeah, lots of ways to do things. If you do want to play solo though, you can still get involved with the community. I think people assume that play parties are always about like partnered activities and you have to like play with somebody to go to one, but it doesn't have to be that way at all. You can go to a party by yourself and play by yourself. A lot of venues even have specific nights where it's solo play focused, especially for rope bondage, or people who are there to play solo can do things on their own, and then you're going to be in good company around people that are also doing things solo. And there's with bloodplay and with rope bondage, there's a sizable community of people who primarily or only do solo play. So if either, I know those are kind of like two sort of extreme examples in the kink world, but if you're drawn to solo play because you like it, those are options for maybe how to do things solo and still have a community space to do them in, and like-minded people that are also doing them solo to where it doesn't feel like you're just kind of like making do with people. But I do want to add as well that if you are playing with things solo, like that's not lesser than doing partnered kink. It's not any less intense. Like you can absolutely go into subspace doing solo play. You can have lots of really fun experiences. And I know that obviously playing with another person and having the energy that can only happen with somebody else doing a scene with you is fun and enjoyable, but you're not like a failure if you can't find a partner. You're not like a bad person if you struggle to like meet people. And it's really important in kink, especially though in life more broadly too, but especially in kink, it's really important to find like the right people to do kink with. Especially when you're new. I know lots of people who have very negative experiences because they rush in, they find like the first person who's willing to play with them, and they go way too far, way too quickly, and it like ruins their whole outlook on kink because of that negative experience. And if you can do things solo and you can build up an understanding of your body, you can learn more about what sensations and types of play you like, and you can go into future relationships with that knowledge, it actually can be protective and help you understand, okay, I know how I would treat my own body, and at minimum, somebody else has to treat me with the same level of respect going into a potential relationship. So actually it can be a positive thing to play solo for a while and just take your time finding the right people. And it can take, like, you know, even for little old me, right? I because of my job, like, you know, I'm a public kink figure. That makes it harder to find people because, like, I don't play with people that are, like, fans of my content generally. Like, pick up play maybe, but, like, you know, I'm not dating people and, like, making DS relationships with people that are doing, you know, that are in my live streams or whatever. Sorry to burst anyone's bubble. That's not happening. I have to have boundaries, okay? And demonstrating boundaries hopefully is a good lesson. But it takes a while to find the right people, and it's, you know, it's okay. It's worth it to wait to find the right people and not just leaping in. And being involved in the community when you are doing things solo gives you an opportunity to find those people. Oh my God, my dog is so sleepy. Look at how sleepy that dog is. Oh my goodness. We have been doing a lot more walking around outside and, like, more hiking, camping stuff as the summer wraps up here, and she is a tuckered out little bean. I will tell you that. Okay. All right. So hopefully that was a good answer. Just noticed the Eye Providence necklace. I could see this is actually on the shirt, and then this is just like a little, like, you probably can't see it that well, but it's actually a little star design. But it's actually I would like to have a necklace of this. That would be fun. I would like that. Body painting and body writing should work fine for solo play. Oh yeah, totally. Didn't even mention that, but those are really good solo options as well. Especially, again, DIY, easy to get supplies for, easy to clean up, not gonna necessarily have any marks left behind, and it's also creative and a good way to, like, connect with your body. Absolutely. I haven't been able to find anyone lately. I've been trying solo, but it's just not working out. Oh, well, that's maybe another thing to note too, is, like, not everyone likes solo play. Like, totally valid. Like, you might love playing solo and be like, this actually is really fun. Some people, they need that energy of having somebody else in a scene with them to play with and bounce off of. And if that's you, also fine. Like, I would say give it a fair shake. You know, if I was exploring solo play, especially if I was in a period where, like, I need to do kink and I'm not finding partners, I would try out, like, a bondage scene. I would try out, like, a sensation play scene, and I would try out an impact play scene. And if none of those work for me solo, then I'd say, hey, you know what? Solo play, not my thing. Because it can also bring up feelings if you're doing it in not the right headspace. If you're doing it from this place of, like, lacking and feeling bad about yourself because, well, I have to do solo play because no one wants to play with me. That's just kind of reinforcing negative self-talk that we don't necessarily want to reinforce. So if it's bringing up negative emotions, is making you feel worse about yourself, or you're just not having fun while you do it, don't do it. Like, I like solo play. I don't do it all the time. Maybe, like, a couple times a year I'll do a solo play scene. But, like, certain types of solo impact play I like, certain types of solo blood play I like. So I do it every once in a while, but it's definitely not one of my main things either. Oh my goodness. Papacita, what are you doing? You were, like, way off in the corner. I'm gonna adjust the camera 1 second. Are you snuggling? With your little cupcake? Oh my God. You are snuggling with your little cupcake. I'm gonna die. It's so cute. This looks so ridiculous, but I'm so here for it. Self-consent is so important. Oh, that's such a good phrase, Ezra. I love that. Self-consent. Wish I started with solo play and avoided newbie sub frenzy. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think even if you do solo play for a long time, you're still gonna risk having to deal with some degree of sub frenzy just because it's, like, part of doing a new thing in kink. Because you can be in kink for a long time, and if you were monogamous or you maybe had, like, really long-term relationships and you get out of them, like, you get sub frenzy again after that sometimes too. So it's not a total way to escape it, but I think it just gives you a little bit more of a cushion, the same way that, like, reading books and taking classes and, like, being in a community space, like, also gives you cushion for hopefully sub frenzy not completely destroying you. I'm certain someone just unfollowed you upon hearing that in order to be able to say they're not technically a fan anymore. That doesn't count, of course. I mean, yeah. I mean, so far, I mean, I don't know. Maybe this has happened. I don't think I've run into anybody that I've ended up dating that like has secretly been a fan of me and then never ended up revealing it. Like I've actually had this happen more to partners of mine than to me, where I've had people who know me and see who I'm playing with, and then they want to play with the people that I play with because they're like, oh, well, but you play with this person, and that's like weird. Like I'm almost trying to have like a backdoor into being my friend or like knowing me personally, and it's like, you guys can just like talk to me at events. Like you don't have to lie and try to date one of my partners or play with them to have an opportunity to talk to me. Like if you just didn't make it weird, it would be fine. But some people just don't know how to do that, so it just gets awkward. Yeah. Oh yeah, different Ezra. Yeah, there's two. I guess I didn't realize that there are two Ezras in the chat. Yeah. Dang, I'm sorry. It must have been really hard when Ezra Klein was in the news, huh? That must have sucked. Yeah, no one named Evie's ever in the news. There's never a news story about like a celebrity named Evie. But maybe that's my name's not like, I don't know. I've met people with my name before, but not very often. Like, and they're all in the kink community, weirdly enough. But yeah. So you're not dating one of your fans from Europe? Like, no. Is there a rumor I'm like in a long distance relationship with somebody in Europe? That's so funny. No, I'm definitely not dating anybody. I'm not dating somebody from Europe who's a fan of mine. I'm not in a long distance relationship with a European. Think of the time zone differences, my God. On the West Coast, it's a terrible time difference. We'd have like 3 hours of overlap. Okay, all right, moving on. More questions. Let me see what we've got going on here. Oh, good. Okay, the Q&A feature is working. I'm going to go through kind of like the first part of the chat before I know that I had the Q&A feature working. I'm going to answer those questions, and then we're going to like pop over to the Q&A feature, just as an FYI for how that's currently working. Oh, we got a question from... Oh, that one got held for review. Okay, I don't know why this one got held for review. I literally don't even know what would have been flagged in this, Phoenix. I'm sorry. That's a YouTube thing. I didn't remove your comment, FYI. But your question is, I'm a couple months into my submissive journey. I'm finding when I'm in an intense bondage or impact scene, I get to the point I want it to be over, but I don't like the safe word. But as soon as it's over, I want it to do again right away. Is that normal? I mean, normal in kink is very subjective. There's not like one thing that's normal. And people have different reactions to different types of scenes. Like I know lots of people who do bondage and like they're good. And then when they're done, they are done. Like there's no, like some people like to like take their time, like removing the bondage and like luxuriating in the experience and doing this, that, and the other. And that does not always happen for people. It's not always work for people. Some people are like, I'm done, get me out, fucking timer's up, beep, beep, beep. Like, it's like cats, okay? Some people are dogs and some people are cats. And like, some dogs, often very tolerant. There's a lot of warning steps up to them being done. And some people are cats and it's like, they're good. And when they're done, they need it to be freaking over. So that part of it is totally normal. That's just, some people, you just want it to be done. And when you want it to be done, it needs to be over that moment. Reasonable. And if that's something you know about yourself, you just communicate it to a partner before anything happens. And then they can know how to deal with that when it comes up. As far as not liking to safe word, that's also very common. And that can be for a lot of reasons, right? Maybe you don't want to safe word because you like don't want the scene ending to be like your call. Maybe it's because you feel guilty about using a safe word. Like you worry about like, oh, am I, ending things too early for my partner, right? Are they getting their needs met in the scene? Are they going to be satisfied by this? And if I end things early, am I like making it so they don't get to enjoy the experience? Maybe you don't want a safe word because it affects your self-image and you're like, well, I want to seem like I can take a lot of pain. I want to do really long scenes. And if I safe word, like people might judge me or might not play with me anymore. So kind of investigate like why you don't want to use a safe word. I think early on in a submissive journey, if you have a consistent play partner you can do this with, I really recommend doing practice safe word scenes. Doing something where you're with your partner, and even before doing any big scenes, you just practice doing little teeny things and then safe wording ASAP. So, like, let's say, you know, normally you do an impact play scene, and maybe you get into doing, like, they hit you like 3 times, and then no matter what, you're supposed to say red. Or, even if it's not immediately up to you to say red, maybe they check in with you and they ask, what's your color? And then you say red. Right? And just practice that like 5 times, sometimes a dozen times, and do it like once a month until it feels really solid. And the reason why you do that is because safe words and very firmly saying no in general, in whatever way we're doing it, in code or not, is not part of our culture. Well, at least in America and like most places I can think of. Maybe other cultures are different. But being authoritative and affirmative with how you communicate with other people, especially around saying no, is very difficult. And we're not used to doing it, and it feels scary. We're worried about being rejected or being judged or not playing hard enough or whatever. And to overcome that and to rewire how we think about it, the best way to do it is to do it over and over and over and over again in a way that's successful. So doing little practice scenes where you're just getting used to saying the word and doing it with a partner and having them hear it and respond to it in a positive way. You can even have this be like a praise kink thing where you go really over the top and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. You're so brave. Yes, thank you so much. You're so amazing. Like you can even turn that into a little bit of a fun scene if you want to. So yes, I think that's a common thing. A lot of people, it takes time to work through it. And even now, like I've had scenes more with newer people. If I know a person pretty well, you guys, I don't know. It depends. I think there's kind of like, if it's a first time pickup play scene, I feel very confident saying no. And then if it's a long-term relationship, I feel very confident saying no. But it's in that little in-between period of like getting to know someone that could be a long-term play partner, like kind of scenes 2 through 4, where we know a little bit about each other, but we're figuring out like the nonverbal communication and like what we need from the experience together, where it's a lot harder to say a safe word because there's like, oh, well, now I'm invested in this going somewhere and I don't know how they're going to react when I safe word, so it makes it a little bit harder to say it. But I also try not to do like scenes 1 through 4 are like, generally speaking, you know, we're not doing hook pulls and crazy shit. We're just, those are the get to know you scenes. Those are the, we're not going to play at maximum intensity. We're going to play like half power. And if that works out really well, we can always play more intensely later on. But as far as the wanting to do it over again right away, I think that's also very normal. It's like hiking, right? Or mountaineering or doing any like kind of intense, laborious physical activity. A lot of people like they do activities like that, like running a marathon, and during the experience, it's really tough. It's draining. They want it to be over. And then when it's done, they're like, you know what? When am I going to do this again? Are we going to come back here next week? Like, it's tight. What people will call in, I think, like the hiking, camping, mountaineering world, people will call like type 2 fun, definitely also applies to BDSM. So for you, maybe those experiences in bondage and impact play are more type 2 fun, where in the moment, maybe you're not enjoying it as much in like a directly enjoyable way, like in a traditional, like in the way that like eating ice cream for people is pleasurable. Like it's a complicated inner experience, but then afterwards on reflection it's fun and you want to do it again. So you could just be dealing with type 2 fun with that, which is very normal. Lots of people do that and have that both in kink and not in kink. Yes, I can see the questions held for review. I can it like gives me an option to like reveal what was captured by the mods. Yeah, don't play with people who judge you for doing a safe word. Yes, that's also ultimately very true. Is one of, if you're going to do a scene where you try to intentionally safe word on purpose, it actually can tell you a lot about a play partner or a potential play partner, because Some people don't react to it well, and that can be traumatizing, but also it does give you information about the person you're playing with that like might help you decide whether or not you want to keep playing with them. And I don't know why. I don't understand it, but some people do get offended when people use safe words because they think it's I think that can be a reflection of somebody's ego being really involved in the specific outcome of a scene in a way that's probably inappropriate. Like, yes, you're doing an experience that involves you being vulnerable, even as a top, but if your self-image is tied up in somebody enjoying absolutely every moment of everything you do, no matter what, and if somebody communicates that they're having, like, it could be a leg cramp. Like, you don't know, dude. Like, somebody could read. It has nothing to do with you being a bad top or bad at what you do. It could literally just be, like, I had an unexpected trigger moment, or like my leg is cramping up, or like I'm feeling an asthma attack coming on. Like, it can be so many things that have nothing to do with your ability as a top, but some people take it that way, and then, well, yeah, don't play with them. Safe word usage is, what's that? Non-monotonic, I think is what that says. Then there's the sublime and elusive type 3 fun. Is that a thing? Is type 3 fun a thing? I haven't heard of type 3 fun. I'm Googling it. What's type 3 fun? I think that means it's not fun at all in any... Oh, yes. Type 3 fun is when it's not fun at all. Not fun while it's happening. Not fun in retrospect. Often involves risk and hardship. I would call type 3 fun a failure. And this is usually type 3 fun means that something's gone sideways, right? Type 3 fun is like, it sucked the whole time, it sucked afterwards, it sucked to suck. That's what type 3 fun is about. And I would say it's not even necessarily elusive. Or they have to go to the bathroom. Oh yeah, that's another one too. Get yellow. I need to go potty. Yeah. Actually, I think if you ask DOMs what their number one reason for safe wording is, I think a lot of them might say going to the bathroom. I think the number one reason tops call yellow is because they need a bathroom break. Which is not what you would think from a kink experience at all. Type 3 fun is watching Section 31. Oh my god. I've watched people review Section 31, and that's a type 1 experience. Watching Red Letter Media talk about Section 31 is actually really funny. I didn't realize there was a definition. Oh, there is. Yeah, there's 3 types. Type 1 is fun while it's happening. Type 2 is fun afterwards. Type 3 is neither fun when it's happening or afterwards. Haha, little did you know. I need a giant bottle like the green one. Oh yeah, this is, I'm assuming you mean this one. It's a Tachia bottle. I wish it wasn't plastic, but it's the only thing I've found that's like this size and is clear, so. Yeah, type 4 fun doesn't exist. It's 4th dimensional fun. It only exists in the 4th dimension. The only good use of Section 31 was a DS9, unfortunately. Yeah, I think more or less every Star Trek fan in existence is on agreement on that. Except for there are people out there who exist who are the unironic fans of Section 31. And it's probably like your uncle. like somebody who is just like, they're watching TV, they catch it on whatever channel, and then they're on the phone with you and they're like, so, did you catch that new Section 31 show? It's pretty fun, actually. And they don't know anything about Star Trek. They don't know anything about... They're just like, they're there for the explosions and the drama, and they don't care about the lore. They don't care about Star Trek as a utopian society. They don't care about any of that. They're just like, you know, put anything on where things explode and there's assassinations and plots, and they're just happy. Yeah. I would say it's not common at all for people to use diapers to avoid that during a scene, especially tops. Maybe somebody, but not common at all. It's the same people who think Trek is woke now. Oh my god. Just gonna not even think about that at any level of detail, because if I do, it's gonna make me upsetty spaghetti. All right. Thank you so much for your question, Phoenix. I appreciate it. The 5th element fun is just a multipass, yeah. If you're a little and everyone's cool with it, just wear a diaper to temporarily nullify the need for bathroom breaks. Oh yeah. If you're a bottom and you're a little or an age player, yeah, go for it. Do what you got to do. Have fun. Incorporate it into your scene. More power to you. Obviously, it's within the venue rules, right? I haven't seen, actually, come to think of it, I haven't really seen any venue rules one way or the other about diaper usage. And I think the concern with that would just be making sure that there's an appropriate facility to dispose of them. And generally not well, maybe that would be covered by like policies against. I imagine if it came up, people would probably say that wearing a diaper and using it would violate the rules against water sports. Would be my guess. So if that is an inclination you have in a public scene, I would talk to the organizers before you fully commit to that idea, because what you don't want to have happen is to try to have that experience or use it and then have a DM or a party organizer talk to you about it and be like, so we're going to have to ask you to leave because this actually violates this rule of the space and blah, blah, blah. So just make sure you know what you're doing there before anything ends up happening. All right, I think we had like one more question before I was able to figure out how the Q&A feature works. I'm going to get to that and then we will pop up. Our viewers only see top or live chat, so you don't seem to see the questions chat, at least on my desktop. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, that's unfortunate because I would like it if people could read the questions and make sure that, because otherwise, how are you supposed to know if your question got submitted if you can't see the Q&A questions? That's funny. What the heck is that about? A few weeks ago, I asked a question about attending a first play party. It was last week and it was amazing. Yay! For obvious reasons, not going to give details of what happened. Suffice to say, it was a great night. Oh, I'm so excited for you. I'm so glad you had a positive first experience, and I'm glad that I could help in some way make that happen. I mean, you did the hard work. You actually went, so give yourself a pat in the back. But I'm glad I could facilitate in any degree that experience happening, and I hope you get a chance to go back. Very, very fun. You get a month of membership for one Taco Bell. Mm-hmm. The tacos are both crispy, soft, and cardboard at the same time, but the sauce makes it good, so I'm chilling, yeah. The Carl's Jr. meal box with a chicken sandwich and tacos. That is such an interesting combination of food. They're like, what if we were both Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell, but worse? I remember the 7 of Taco Bell tacos in a $1 movie way back in the day. Oh shit! I don't even think I even remember hearing about that. I'm too young. I'm too young to know about that. I do remember there'd be like party boxes and stuff. Oh, okay. I've been covering up in the laptop as well. Light binders like they have in Star Wars. I don't know enough about Star Wars, saying one way or the other. Wrist ankle weights clipped to bungee cords can feel like being pinned down and it's easy to extract yourself from. Oh, that's an interesting one. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, just repurpose your, I guess it'd be workout equipment. I do like wrist and ankle weights. Not even for kink purposes, just because that's how I do my ab exercises. Oh no, YouTube. Oh, it's having connection problems again. Oh, dang it. Okay. I don't know. I actually don't see I don't see any drop frames in my end, so I don't know what's going on. That might just be a YouTube thing. Darn it. Okay. I recently watched your FetLife guide, and thank you. You really made it seem a lot less intimidating. But I had one small question. You and others have suggested using something from... Oh, cut off. One of your... kink interests as your profile pic. As someone just finding his way into all of this outside of being an S-type, I don't know what I'm into yet. Suggestions. Oh, for a profile picture that you could use. I think if you don't know... Yeah, because it's specifically about a profile picture. If you don't know what you might be into yet, I feel like kind of like generic photos of something else that's like a hobby or an interest of yours would like completely make sense as a profile picture. I definitely see a lot of people who take pictures of like if they have a nice pair of boots, or if they have, if you're like me and you got real long nails, so you gotta, got like kind of a, picture of like, like claws going into an arm or something, or I don't know. What did I have as like my first profile pic? What did I honestly don't remember. What did I have as my first profile pic on FetLife? I think I'd probably use like an Instagram picture of my face, to be honest with you. It kind of depends on how much anonymity you want to have. One of the profile pictures I use a lot is I have a photo of me that's like very like in super very deep shadow, so you can see like kind of the side of my face and like the outline of my silhouette, but you can't really make out any of the features on my face. And I feel like something like that actually can be really good if you're concerned about privacy. You can do just kind of like not even your eyes, just like the lower bit of your face, like in shadow, in profile somewhere. It doesn't really take that much work. Just download like Photoshop Express on your phone. It's free. It might ask you to, well, actually, you might have to sign up for a free trial to get the watermark removed in the mobile app, but that used to not be the case. So, but you can get at least like a couple weeks free where it won't put a watermark on your phone photo. It's like, take a picture where you have an opportunity to have some really high contrast lighting, pop it into Photoshop Express, up the contrast, up the shadows, make it black and white. Bob's your uncle. There you go. That's all you really need to do. The one thing I would say is there's like two distinct kinds of bad profile photos that I would never use and never tell anybody to use. Don't use stolen artwork. Oh, actually, there's a couple. This is like one category. One is like artwork that's bad, and the other category are like pictures of you that would be bad. So artwork pictures that would be bad. No AI, no stolen memes, no stolen photos, no cartoon panels, no anything that's not your like personal property that you own. Don't use that as a profile photo, okay? Other category for you. Okay, I just keep focusing on my water bottle now. I'm just gonna move that all the way over there. The other thing that you don't want to do is you do not want to have photos of your genitals as your profile picture. And now on FetLife, you can filter messages from people that don't have a profile photo. So you do need to have something, but dear God, do not have a photo of your penis or any of your genitals. It doesn't care. Your balls, your ass, anything. Don't put it as your profile picture. Okay? Maybe certain contexts, certain body parts. Okay, if you have an armpit fetish and you're trying to signal to fellow people that have an armpit fetish, okay, maybe take a picture of an armpit, of your armpit, and have it be a profile photo. But that is a very specific use case, and I would not recommend that otherwise. So yeah, I think just like a generally like kind of concealed photo of your face that's like shadowy and not easily identifiable if you're concerned about identity stuff that you haven't used anywhere else. Very important if you want it to be secure is do not repost that same photo or reuse it on other social media outside of FetLife. And that's like generic. You don't necessarily have to do anything with that. I picked the cutest, most high femme selfie of me I could find. I also made the mistake of saying I was trans and so many changes. Oh no, Lexi. Oh no. Oh my God. Okay. Almost, that just reminded me of something. Okay. Okay. This is gonna be, who here has boomer kind of normie conservative parents? I was talking to my mom on the phone and I told her that I had a like date that I was excited about coming up soon. And she was like, "Oh, that's exciting." And then because my brain because I just, I'm a lefty. I exist in a lot of LGBTQ spaces. I'm around a lot of non-binary people day to day, like friends and etc. A lot of non-binary and trans people who use they pronouns. So I just default to they when I'm talking about a person. Even if I know that they're like a cis dude, I will still use they pronouns. And I have to stop myself unless it's like clear, right? Like, especially if I'm trying to like not be specific about a person. So anyways, I'm trying to describe this person that I'm like going on a date with, and then like I'm using they pronouns. I've never had my asked this before. She was like, "I've noticed that you were using a lot of like you were calling them a they. So are they like a trans woman? Are they like a trans man?" And I just stopped my mom, and I was like, "Nope, they're just a dude." I thought that was really funny. I'm like, first of all, Mom, we've never had a conversation about me being gay, but I'm glad you're open to that. But also at the same time, if I was going out with the trans woman and I happened to tell you about it, Mom, she would be a she. Or if I was going out with the trans man, he would be a he. But it's really funny that I'm trying to be non-specific. And so when I'm trying to be non-specific about a person, because, like, when I talk for streams and stuff, right, like, I don't tell you I don't tell people on the internet the genders of the people I'm dating. I just try to maintain people's privacy in that regard as best as I can. So, like, y'all need to know the various combinations of genders in my life. It's whatever. So I just default to they when I'm thinking about that kind of thing. It's so funny. Mom was like, I could tell she was trying real hard. Evie's mom, fucking pronouns. I know. My mom was like, pronouns detected. I just forget other people exist in a world where everyone's a he or a she. And I'm like, that's not the world I exist in, Mom. She's like halfway there. I know. I'm like, Mom, well, actually, there's some people who are non-binary. We're gonna get there. It took like 5 years to bring my parents around to binary trans people existing. Oh, God. I have a very specific memory of, like, when my parents realized that, like, trans people existed, because they just thought they were, like, they didn't, my parents are, like, normie conservative. They grew up in, like, Podunk, middle of nowhere, right? Like, they went to high school with, like, 20 people, okay? Did not have a lot of life experience, okay? And so I had explained to my parents, both my siblings and I, in various ways, have explained to my parents that, like, well, you know, Mom, there are some people, doing the whole spiel. And it took, like, a couple times of doing that for it to finally sink in. And, like, well, you know what? I guess maybe there could be people that are just kind of born in the wrong body. And that's, who am I? Like, they're all made in God's image and God's plan. So maybe God meant to make them that way. And, hopefully it sticks, If we just use the Jesus thing, or, it's just like, well, we're all God's children, and God doesn't make mistakes. Ipso facto, if someone believes they're trans and God didn't make a mistake, then it must be real. Because conservatives might put megaphones up to everyone's ears about it a few years back. Yeah. I think luckily we got in there before. This is like 10 years ago. So this is like we started that process way before trans issues were like the major thing on the conservative media radar. My parents thought trans people and crossdressers were the exact same thing until like 2004 when I came out as trans, and they're not even conservatives. Yeah, I think even still, I don't think my parents like if I gave them a pop quiz and I was like, Mother, what's the difference between a crossdresser, a drag queen, and a trans person? I don't think they could tell me the difference. I don't think they could. And you know what? That's just where we're at. That's where we're at. Yeah. Honestly, that's progressive of them for conservative Christians' respect. I know, it's like they're kind of like top tier for that. I feel like I'm about what I can expect, for people of that particular belief system and upbringing. So, I'm glad God. If one of my parents was like a QAnoner, I don't know what I would do. Like, I have like extended family members that are that way. Like I have people that are farther outside of my network than my parents that are like, Alex Jones listeners, but they're not anyone that I have to interface with on like a daily basis. So there's more to it than that. Devout Christian advocating for trans rights on the grounds that transition brings you closer to God. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I grew up religious and conservative, but now I'm a liberal, center, and queer. Hell yeah. We love progress. It sounds like a joke setup. A trans woman, a crossdresser, and a drag queen walk into a bar. Yeah. I think it could be, if told by the right person, could be a funny joke. Could be a very, very funny joke. Absolutely. So anyways, I don't know why I got off on that tear exactly. It reminds me of Trevor Noah, Born a Crime. Oh, is that a thing that Trevor Noah has said? I don't recognize that. Yeah, I have an uncle who's been drinking gradually more and more Kool-Aid lately. Oh, okay. Oh, alcoholism? No, just Kool-Aid. Okay. Maybe both. Probably, you know what? They're kind of related sometimes. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks. And it started because he got mad. Oh my God, he got mad about your insurance paying for your transition surgery? Oh my God. Wow. It's not, wow, he's like, I'm just trying to imagine that scenario. Like, my insurance wouldn't pay for it when I got injured on the job, and my niece got paid for her neo-vagina. So, that's not fair. I'm like, you're looking at the wrong level for what the problem is right now. Like, you're here, and you need to be mad like a couple levels here. Be mad a couple levels higher up the hierarchy. That's just cosmetic. Like, don't ask, didn't care. Plus, he says, don't ask, didn't care, L plus ratio. I just imagine texting your uncle L plus ratio. I think I would break my parents' brains if I ever responded to a text message by saying L plus ratio. Oh my God. Yeah, they put dihydrogen monoxide in the water and it turned me into a trance. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I don't know. Parents, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Nothing. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Alrighty, Aphrodites. Let's get slightly back in the rails here, huh? Let's answer some questions. It would be amazing. Okay. All right. We're getting back in the rails here. Let's answer some more questions. And I think, okay. Okay. There's one more question, I think, before I got to the point where the Q&A got set up. So this is the last one, and then we're switching over to the Q&A. Oh, I just saw it. Where did it go? Should the sub pay the dom back as punishment? Should the sub pay the dom back as punishment? Pay them back for what? I'm confused at the premise of the question. Like, is this like a dom pays for your dinner, you misbehave at dinner, so therefore you have to pay them back? Or do you mean as a punishment because neither party involved would like it, the submissive to try to spank the dominant because both people would hate that experience? But in general, because the premise is, should blankety blank happen, the answer is always can. That could happen. That can happen. It might not necessarily happen, but it could. It's potentially on the table. But I wouldn't say that's a usual thing at all. Like monetarily or like revenge for being punished. Yeah, it does kind of have like a revenge flavor to it. But I don't think revenge and kink are in relationships. Doesn't matter. Actually, I'm going to say that. Kink, vanilla doesn't matter. If you are operating from a revenge perspective, don't do that. At least a serious revenge perspective. You can, if you're jokesters, if you like to do practical jokes on each other, if you want to do revenge, lighthearted, non-permanently damaging, or psychologically damaging pranks, okay, that's fine, all right? You know, if you want to, you know, hide in the bathroom and scare them when they step into the bathroom in the morning, okay, fine. You can do that, but I would not advise, if a dom messed up. Oh, okay, yeah. So punishing the dom if they transgress. Oh, that's a good question. So again, the answer is can. It can happen. It's possible, but it doesn't normally happen. So untangling this in my brain, trying to think of possibilities for how this would work. So if you have maybe a switch relationship, like maybe you're an S-leaning submissive, like an S-leaning switch, maybe they're a D-leaning switch. Maybe that feels comfortable to work out a dynamic where to have mutual reinforcement of your negotiated relationship structure, that if the dominant messes up in their dominant place, like They're not doing check-ins the way that they should. They're not keeping track of your, water intake or you taking your pills the way that they've agreed that they would, whatever that looks like. Maybe you agree that you can punish them as a submissive, where, maybe, you do something physically to them, or you sit down with them and you tell them, like, oh my God, I had a picture of a scene in my head. Like, imagine you have like a switchy DDLG relationship and you're the little, and you have to write in crayon like a little letter to your daddy. Don't tell him dad, that was weird. Daddy, father, papa. You're writing a letter to your papa. You write in crayon a letter to your papa to explain why you were so ever disappointed in papa's behavior. This has become Victorian urchin child, way more than I expected it to be. I don't think Victorian urchin children who called their fathers papa would have had access to crayons. But let's just say that that's what it is. And they handwrite you a letter and they explain, I was so disappointed in you and it made me so sad when you forgot to check in on me on Friday, and like you put a little big frowny face and you put a little picture of you crying. That would be the most... They would never forget to check up on you ever again. If that is not the most emotionally devastating experience of that person's relationship with you, they're not the one for you. It's like, if that doesn't rip the heart out of their chest to have their little come to them with like a, I'm really sad and it made me sad that you forgot about me letter, like, fucking what? Like, you're a monster. How does that not just, Lead crayons, probably, Victorian DDLG. I mean, hey, yeah. Papa, when's to supper? Yeah, exactly. Needs to be more overlap between DDLG and Victorian household roleplay. There's untapped potential there. Forgive me, Papa, for I'm a weak Victorian child. Yeah. Father, I have consumption. I'm too weak from going to the coal mines. Kink is delightful. Kink is delightful. Anyways, so yes, going back to the thing we were actually talking about, which is not Victorian child DDLG roleplay, but punishing your dom. I think there's a way to do that probably is largely not physical. So it would probably be like writing letters explaining why you're disappointed, like just having talking to them and like just communicating what's going wrong, why you're not happy with something. And hopefully for most doms, that's enough for them to learn that like, oh, my behavior isn't acceptable. As a dom that is evil, I would feel devastated. I still have flashbacks to Evie's dominant young royal video. The papa letter will be living right free next to it. Oh, hell yeah, that's a great combination. Yeah, Miss Kink. Exactly. I knew someone whose daughter wrote him a genuine crossface card. It was adorable. Aw, yeah. I would definitely like, I feel like I've seen like little kids on the internet like write letters to their parents where they're really upset or mad about something and they're like, I'm gonna run away from home and la la la, and it's like they're obviously not going to. They're just gonna like hang out in the backyard for like an hour or two and think about it. But yeah. You've been a bad boy stealing all the bread. But sir, my sister, she's sick, she needs to eat. Jesus. Yeah. Forgive me, Papa, I've consumed the flaming hot Cheeto. Only one. I know I wasn't supposed to. Oh, geez, yeah. That would be really funny. Anyways, put your ideas for Victorian child roleplay in the chat if you were so inclined. Huh. This is like the happiest I've been all week. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. It's been a rough one. I'm having a great time. This is fun. I always like streaming. Wait, why is a Jean Valjean? I can never figure out how to pronounce this. Yaver, a kink dynamic actually so hot. God damn it, new kink unlock. I mean, you're gonna tell me that if you went on AO3 right now and you looked up Jean Valjean BDSM roleplay on AO3, that there would not be Jean Valjean DS shit all over that website? There definitely would be. There absolutely would. But beat the... Okay, you were like staring and not blinking in the middle distance, and it was freaking me out, little dog. I know. You were like dead-eyeing the camera, and it was freaking me out. You're gonna have to... Yeah, there you go. Just curl up normal, as opposed to staring like a fish into the camera, please. Yeah. All right. Question time. Bobbity bing, bobbity beam. Oh my god, so many questions. Okay. We're doing it. What would you say would be the best ways to expand on ABDL? Depends on what you're already doing. So I guess what you're probably asking for is like what kinks overlap well with ABDL. And what overlaps well? So obviously there's already the components of, well, obviously age play is a big part of it. That, oh my god, I have hiccups. Okay, I think we're good. I think I've conquered the hiccups, hopefully. We'll see. Best ways to expand on ABDL. So obviously we've already got diaper stuff. We've already got age play. Things that I know people enjoy alongside ABDL. Bondage, especially like device bondage in garments, very popular. There are whole web stores, even on Etsy still, where people make like locking mittens or diaper locks or locking booties or little like colorful padded straight jackets that go with kind of the aesthetic of, you know, ABDL, right? They're like, you know, it's like pale pink and pale blue and white and things. So that's probably a good overlap for if you haven't tried that. You could potentially go in that direction. Corporal punishment and like traditional discipline a la Victorian school child / street urchin, as we've just been discussing, I think is a potential overlap there as well. I've definitely known a lot of people who do that. Like actually most of the ABDLs I know in real life are like very heavy masochists. Like, not that all ABDLs are, but at least the ones that I know that participate in the public community, they're ABDLs and like very heavy pain bottoms. So definitely room for impact play in there, especially like over the knee spanking, hand spanking, again, traditional corporal punishment. So, you know, tazes, hairbrush paddles, things that go along with maybe role play that could overlap with ABDL. And let's see what else. Praise kink, humiliation play, also a big component, especially for if you're more on the diaper side. I know a lot of people that enjoy diapering. There's an emotional sadomasochism element to it that they also play with that could be expanded upon as well, because, you know, if you are literally role-playing as a baby, you know, that's sort of, I mean, not that it is inherently humiliating for everybody, but there's a potential for that to feel inherently humiliating because you're a baby, so you're helpless and you're dependent, and, you know, you're actually obviously a biological adult that is a chronological age. So, you know, being in a position where you're helpless and dependent on people, like, can feel humiliating for people, especially for people where they were raised with values where they're supposed to be, like, strong and independent and blah, blah, blah. So those would be maybe some directions that I would potentially go in with adding on to ABDL if you haven't explored those options before. And then remember, if you want me to answer your questions, put them in the chat. Put them in the questions, the Q&A chat at the top bar. It's highlighted. My little space is mainly for coping with my autism and ADHD and general stress. Yeah, that's true for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. This is a quick one. So this game is real quick. Oh god, I just lost it. Where did it go? My dom does not punish me. Is it okay? Yes. Punishments are optional. The only time it would not be okay for your dom, the only time it would not be okay for your dom to not punish you is if you had agreed to it and that was part of your dynamic and they were not holding up the end of their dynamic. You do not have to use punishments to have a DS relationship. They're totally optional. They're a tool that a lot of people use, but if that's not your dom's thing, if it's not your thing, don't do it. If you want it, if you have asked for it and they say that they will do it and they haven't, then that's a problem and you should talk to them about it. So that's just to answer that one real quick, because that's a short one. All right. What is the difference between BDSM and humiliation? So humiliation play is a type of BDSM, usually thought of as a type of emotional sadomasochism, where people get pleasure from feeling humiliated, uncomfortable, embarrassed, and the activities around it that can provoke those feelings. For people who like humiliation play, they can certainly take that into the other experiences that they are doing, like doing bondage in a way that feels humiliating and exposing, doing impact play in a way that feels humiliating and exposing. If that's somebody's kink, it can overlap into a lot of other areas of BDSM, but BDSM itself does not inherently involve humiliation play. A lot of people that do kink, myself included, I would say most people that do it, they do it because it's fun and they enjoy it. There's nothing humiliating or embarrassing about it. They don't feel any shame about it. They don't feel guilt about it. It's fun. It's pleasurable. That's why they do it, and that's all that it really has to be. So there you go. That's that on that. They overlap. Humiliation is obviously not part of the acronym of BDSM, but it is included under sort of the broad umbrella of kinky and the types of activities that you would find in kink. But yeah, they're pretty different. They're pretty different. They're not one and the same at all. I can still ask who's still here, maybe. Okay, there is any suggestions for solo play? I think I already went over that. So unless people want more suggestions, I think I'm gonna say that I answered that one already. And then a question from Rose: with wax play, does the place you get the candles from matter? Oh yeah. Don't go to Yankee Candle and get candles from there and use them for wax play. So it does matter. A couple things I would look for, and I have a really, really old video on wax play that I've been meaning. I have like half a script done. I should actually probably prioritize finishing that because it's been on the back burner for a minute. But it absolutely does matter. So there are different degrees of safety with different types of candles. A lot of people do make specific BDSM wax play candles for that purpose. I would buy those, but even if you are buying one of those, there are different types of candle wax that can affect the melting temperature, so how hot they end up getting when they touch your skin, and how easy they are to remove. And they can also be made with materials that can cause additional hot spots where you can get an even bigger increase in temperature because of there being additives mixed into the wax. So plain uncolored candles are usually best to start with. I don't know if this has actually been definitively proven or not, but the theory is that the darker colors, so really dark purple, black, dark red, hold on to heat for longer. So if you like that and you like more intensity, adding a darker color might alter how intense it is. But colored wax candles can also stain your skin temporarily, which I think like not a lot of people think of. So yes, that matters for that front. There are some people who make candles for BDSM who will add scents to their candles. Leather, black rose, all the kind of the stereotypical BDSM scents. And those can work, but it is an elevated risk to play with those because the scent additive, the fragrance additive in the wax, can create hot spots. So it's generally not recommended to use candles or wax play that have scents included. So I would potentially avoid those. And then there's there's all different kinds of wax these days: paraffin, soy, coconut wax, beeswax, and various combination therein. So you can have like cocoa soy wax. You can have all paraffin. You can do a mix of paraffin and cocoa and soy. You can do paraffin and soy. And each one of those has slightly different melting temperatures depending on who the manufacturer of the wax pellets is. and what proportion that they are used in. Also, the type of wick can matter as well. So if it's like an all cotton wick versus something that has a zinc core, for example, I think pretty much anyone that makes wax play candles for kink use does an all cotton wick, as far as I'm aware. I don't know anyone that uses a zinc core. There are some types of pillar wax that you need to use a zinc core wick to get it to be wicked properly, but that's no candle DIY bullshit. You can look up if you're ever curious about it. And so that can affect the melting temperature. Beeswax is generally the hottest. And some people who really like, one, if it's in your risk profile to potentially get burns, and you like really, really intense wax play, some people will play with beeswax candles. It's not a beginner thing. I wouldn't recommend starting there. And you can get pure beeswax candles, you know, in different shapes, you know, from like usually kind of fancier grocery stores will have them. So, you know, your New Seasons, your Whole Foods, things like that. Your Wegmans. I think Wegmans probably has, if you're an East Coaster, I think they probably have beeswax candles at Wegmans. But the other thing with that is you should talk to the manufacturer about what their melting point is. Generally speaking, for melting like wax play candles and not ones that are like decorative, the melt pool will probably be somewhere between like, probably average is like minimum is like 107. That would be like a hot tub, all the way up to like 120 or so. And they can vary candle to candle, so it's not always the same every single time. But that's kind of the ballpark. And it also depends, like, how far away you're dripping the wax from. How big is the candle? How big is the melt pool? That'll affect the end temperature that ends up on your skin, but that's kind of the long and the short of it. So yes, it does matter where you get it from. Not every candle maker makes the same candle. I always recommend starting out with the lowest temperature that you can find, and then working your way up if you decide you like it, because if you start off too intense, you're not going to like it, and maybe if you had done a lower temperature one, you would enjoy it. So yeah. Cocoa soy wax, coconut, and soy milk scented. No, it's made with soy pellets and cocoa. So made with coconut wax, which is a thing. I'm adding wax play in my list journal of things I think I want to try now. Coconut oil is not a good replacement for sunscreen. Do not replace your sunscreen with coconut oil. Oh my God. Do you like to fry your skin? Do you like skin cancer? If yes, then replace your sunscreen with coconut oil. If you like not having skin cancer, don't use coconut oil as fucking sunscreen. Oh my God. Oh, interesting. Okay, wait, I'm gonna scroll back up because I missed that. Soy wax melts at like 120. Yeah, that's why I gave the range of like 107 to like 120. Is like kind of the ballpark. I've seen ones that like, even within that, there's a little bit of range. Like you can get up to like 125 too. But like that's the most average I combined words there. The most average candle temperature I see is between like 107 and like 120, 125. I always recommend that the person getting the wax put on, rub unlit candle on the inside of your arm if they have allergies, to make sure that they're allergic to an ingredient. Oh, that's a good suggestion. Yeah, a lot of people have sensitivity to like wax ingredients, so that makes sense. That's like saying you're going to replace your sunscreen with any other cooking oil. I know. It's like, what if I replaced my lip balm, my SPF lip balm with olive oil? I don't know. What if I replaced my shampoo with cookie dough? What if I replaced my deodorant with butter? Like, I don't know. The world's my oyster. You can do anything you want. What if I replaced all of my pills with gummy bears? Like, you can do anything you want. You're an adult. Go for it. Yeah, she's like disassociating hardcore right now. Okay, I want to look at, there's some kind of like, people are describing something that seems very interesting. I don't know, there's some kind of metal thing. Okay, I'm gonna look at this. What was this? I know a chemist who came up with a kind of molten metal play similar to candle wax play. They disclosed any possible toxicity issues, but it seemed safe enough to try once. It was so worth it. It was 44% bismuth, 5% cadmium, 22% lead, 8% tin, 19% indium, which I don't even know what that is. That is fascinating. I would love to try that. That feels very, like, medieval. It feels very, like... I feel like wasn't there like a medieval torture that was like pouring like melted iron onto people or something? Oh, that sounds so interesting. I would love to see that happen. I feel like visually it would look really cool because like the molten metal is, I mean, I guess I don't know what those things look like when they're molten, but that sounds so fascinating. It's also coming from an account that has a 19-year-old YouTube account. That's wow. Wow, that's like, you have one of the oldest accounts on YouTube. They weren't skin toxic? Apparently not. That's what I call a sugar scrub. Exactly. Obviously don't do your research at all. Yeah, I don't think I have bismuth just laying around. Mercury and gallium you can play with if you're careful and you have good ventilation. Yeah. I mean, if you have good enough ventilation and you're wearing maybe a respirator, there's a lot of things you can open up the door to that you wouldn't do in a regular dungeon. Buttery soft armpits with butter. Exactly. There was a medieval torture for everything. There truly was. Yeah, it's the chem class boom demonstration medal. Burning magnesium is also classic. Oh, I mean, heck yeah. You have to burn magnesium for people. It's like a rule if you're a chemistry professor. Molten metal punishment in the pillory, yeah. Yeah, if you're doing it, you're like at a stockade. Wait, Twitch guy is like 17 years old. That's crazy. You were like, I'm one of the first 5 people on what would have been Justin.tv at that point. I didn't care about the others, but the lead and cadmium would make me limit the time. Thanks. Yeah, obviously. Just had a shortened time, washed up quickly after. Yeah, I mean, you know, is it worse than the microplastics you're already consuming? Not even, like, of your own volition every day? Probably not. A Roman consul was killed by pouring molten gold over him. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Yes, I was thinking of that. Yes, yeah. Damn, we were like ruthless. Humanity is just like constantly, until very recent history, figuring out brutal ways to kill each other and have very short lives. It's like, yes, you won't live through the molten gold, but it will be entertaining, so think about that. No, back from the Justin TV days. Okay, more questions. And then I'm going to say... I'm going to end things probably... Oh, let me check, actually, before I say anything. I'm going to check where... Let me see how traffic is doing if I decide that I want to wrap things up a little bit early so I have time to handle stuff. Oh, yeah, there's a little bit of traffic. Okay. So I think... Let's see. Let's end it. I think we're going to wrap up like 10 minutes early, so... we're not quite at the 15-minute mark yet, but now is a great time to get your questions in if you haven't asked it yet, just in case. All right, okay. Monitor the traffic situation. You always got to be careful in Portland. You never know when somebody's gonna get in an accident on a bridge and fuck everything up colossally. Ooh, what kind of punishment have you given being a sadist? One for today is fine. What kind of punishment have you given for being sadist? Okay, so you're asking me as a sadist, what kind of punishments have I given people? I've never intentionally given someone a punishment in a relationship context. I think I've definitely said things as like a joke to a friend that's like unintentionally more cutting than I meant for it to be. So that's probably the closest I've gotten to. Is just like a quick-witted cutting remark that like highlights how well I know a person and what their weaknesses are. I think is probably the closest, which is lethal. It is deadly to be able to do that. In a novel, I write a DS relationship, and the sub wants to organize some days with beautiful memories, but messes it up sometimes, messes up 2 days, and when the dom paid for that day. Oh, I see. So you're asking about, like, should they have paid them back? Yeah. I mean, possibly, but I don't think that kind of arrangement would be common in, like, a lifestyle, like, real life kink sense by any means. All right, Kai asks, tips for getting to know someone at BDSM events and for asking questions. I'm really new at this. I'm really shy with new people, and I'm autistic. Well, Kai, guess what? I have great news for you. There's a lot of autistic people and a lot of neurodivergent people broadly. ADHD, autism, various other flavors of neurodivergent in the kink world. So chances are you are in good company. I know the majority of people that I know in the kink community are people that in the vanilla world, when they were socializing, you know, as a teenager, going to parties in college, they were the one who was like the awkward person in the corner of the party by themselves. And then when they got to kink, they found like their people, and it just made it way easier for them to be able to socialize because they were kind of amongst their own kind. That being said, not all events, not all spaces or communities have the same proportion of neurodivergence in them, and you can't take it for granted, and it's always good to have those basic skills down. So when I am getting into an event, if you want to socialize, number one recommendation, get there early or go to a social event beforehand if they happen to offer one, because that's going to be lower stress than trying to talk to people over loud music and screaming and floggers and skin slapping together, okay? So that is going to be number one, is I would just recommend getting there early because that's going to be lower key, probably going to be easier on your nervous system. And then I keep things, you know, it depends on the party and kind of the environment that you're in, but like, if I'm trying to get to know someone in a kink space, I like the go-to thing is I always like complimenting something about a person's outfit or appearance that clearly took effort. That's reflective of their aesthetic and some level of intention versus something that they were born with, right? So there's a huge difference between being like, oh my gosh, I love your pale skin, and like being like, wow, your makeup is super intricate, that must have taken a lot of time. Obviously, any compliment you give needs to be, did my voice just crack? Whatever. I didn't realize that was possible for that to happen. So, has to be an authentic compliment. Say what you mean, but it's like if you show something that recognizes a person's choices about how they look and what makes them feel good about themselves, that's a great way to open up a conversation. Because if it's something like a costume piece, or maybe they're a pet player and they have like a really cool like headgear on, or maybe they have like a cool looking harness on, like you can talk to them about that, and then that gives them an opening to talk about what their interests are, where they got stuff, you know, oh yeah, I've been practicing this, like this is my first time getting to wear this way, blah blah blah. And I think that gets things off on the right foot without it being about like necessarily like kink activities in and of themselves. And then you can get into talking about how like, you know, this is your first event, and asking them like, I don't know, just kind of, you know, talking about yourself a little bit, you know, that it's your first event, you're excited about getting to know people, and what was I just thinking of? Yeah, and talking to them about like, you know, their experience in the kink community, you know, don't do the, hey baby, you come here often, but like literally though, like, oh, is this a party you go to like frequently? Like kind of just talking to them about their experience and like the kink community, how they got here. That's like very, very like easy, normal conversation stuff, I would say. And yeah, also, I recommend wearing things that give people an opportunity to have conversations with you about something. So even if you don't necessarily have a lot of like kink gear, wearing something either that like you made, if you like, you know, make jewelry, or if you have like fandom stuff that you're really into, like it's very common to see people wearing like fandom pins and t-shirts and stuff at like social events for kink, because there's such a big overlap with neurodivergence and nerd culture and stuff within kink. So yeah, but just be polite, respect people's space, don't be cognizant of kind of like physically where you're talking to people, like do you make it easy for them to move away or leave the conversation, right? So like if somebody's just left a bathroom, don't stand there and be like, oh, hey, let's have a conversation, right? Like give them physical space, give them a way to leave. If somebody's sitting down on a couch or in a chair, I recommend if you can find a place to sit to talk to them, I would do that over standing up over them and talking down to them. And that's, I think, especially for masculine people and dominant people, a big mistake they make when they're trying to socialize, especially with S-types and submissives and like smaller people in general, is they don't realize that they're being kind of like physically imposing with their presence because they've like cornered somebody or isolated them by accident, or somebody's sitting down or sitting on the floor and then they're like standing up and they're not really at eye level with you. That all creates like subtle signifiers of just like kind of trying to have power over someone, I would say, and just kind of be aware of that. Don't have to be paranoid about it, but just kind of be aware physically, like try to be on the same eye level with people as much you can. I think that makes a big difference for people. If you want to send your party story next week, let's talk about it next week, because I think for today, I don't know if we have time to it because I have a lot of questions I wanna get through. But yeah, I definitely want to, if you want to tell us about that, we can always go over it next time. So hopefully that about covers it. But I'm sure there's other people in the chat. If you are an autist and you are in the chat, if you have advice from one autist to another about your experience and how you navigated socializing. I've even some bigger cities that I've been in, though I don't know of any that are currently operating right now that I could point you to, but a lot of big cities also have like neurodivergent kink munches, and that might be a really good place to start if you have the opportunity to go to one of those if you're in a bigger city or could get to one. That might even be an ideal place to start. I have like, did I mess up my eyeliner? Okay, there we go. Yeah, limited time for party stories today. Okay, now we are at the 15-minute warning. Speak now or ask questions or forever hold your peace. Okay. What is the best wax to use short of standing in the driveway with a garden hose? Best wax you short of standing in the driveway with a garden hose. I don't even know how what that's connected to. It depends what you like from the wax play experience. If you like being able to peel off like whole big chunks of wax and have it come off really smooth and have it make your skin smooth afterwards, paraffin is really good for that. If you like something that is like a little bit creamier, and that some people don't like paraffin, like they just have negative opinions about paraffin and like burning paraffin. If you want a little bit more of like a natural experience that probably melts at a little bit of a lower temperature, I would say some kind of cocoa soy or just soy wax. Even those, a lot of them have kind of secret hidden very small amounts of paraffin in them, just FYI. But like a cocoa soy or a soy wax. But those can be a little bit more difficult to remove. They're more of like a rubbing off or a scraping off as opposed to a peeling off. So yeah, those are probably my go-tos. I don't play with beeswax. That's not something that I do either as a vegan or because of the intensity experience. So that's the direction you want to go in. But I don't have a particular favorite place that makes candles. There's a lot of places that make really similar ones. So, you know, just browse on Etsy and find one that has cheap shipping that's in your country. That's probably the way to go. I never thought there'd be an overlap in a conversation between PFASs and kink. Did not think I was going to have a PFAS conversation. But yeah, PFASs are very annoying, and they are, maybe don't play with those in your kink. A lot of autists don't like eye contact anyway, so position, standing, sitting, etc. is whatever. Yeah, I guess I'm assuming that we're talking about like, if you're talking to somebody who is unknown type of brain, by default, I think having, but also at the same time, I have autistic people in my life that have auditory processing issues. And if you're too far away from them because you're like not at close eye level, it's hard for them to like, they need to read your lips or be close enough to hear you really well. Because if you're too far away and your voice is mixing with other people talking around you, it's hard for them to pick out what you're saying. So yeah, it's the eye contact can be whatever, but there's definitely advantages to the eye level thing and being kind of close to each other at the same time. Yeah, lead acetate does taste sweet. It's true. It does. It does. Bikini wax is a form of extreme pain play with a Stepford sadist wax. Now that's a roleplay scenario, people. That's how you do it. Question, as a sub, how can you communicate what you want from a scene without topping from the bottom? Is it as simple as being open and advocating what you want from the scene negotiation? Yes. Yes. Okay. This is a skill that is very hard for a lot of people to learn. You definitely have my sympathy if this is where you are at. If you are struggling to be able to communicate what you want, totally normal. It is not topping from the bottom to say what you want. Topping from the bottom is like going into a scene, not being happy at all with what your partner is doing, correcting them, rolling your eyes, sighing, not ending the scene, but kind of being bossy and hard to please intentionally to provoke a response or to belittle someone and make them feel bad about themselves. That's topping from the bottom. That's like, oh my God, like my ex was so much better at this than you. Like that kind of bullshit. Don't do that. No, don't go there. Topping from the bottom is not you saying what your needs are, especially outside of a scene. Communicating up front, negotiating up front, very important. I would even say it's a must do, and you have to do it even when it's really hard. So hopefully when you negotiate with people and you talk about what experiences you want to have, they absolutely should ask you, what would you like to get out of the scene? What are you hoping to experience? How do you feel about this? That's a must have. That's a must do. Not everyone is going to do that though. And so you do need to advocate for yourself if you notice, okay, maybe the way that they negotiate is more like they're focused on like safe words, limits, boundaries, things like that. Maybe they're not really talking about the actual like scene experience itself, in which case it is up to you to bring up like, hey, so this is what I would like to see happen. This is what I'm excited about trying. This is how far I want to go with it. So on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. So advocate for yourself, talk about what your needs and wants are, and it's a mutual thing, right? It's not that like one person's needs are going to go over the other. Like the way that negotiation should work is you're coming to the table, you're saying, I like knife play, I like bondage, I like canes, and I like whips. And the person says, well, I'm not really into bondage or anything, but I do like whips, so how about we play with that, right? That's kind of the process that we're looking for. And it also obviously is not just the play itself, but also like what kind of relationship are you looking for? What kind of dynamic do you want to have in the scene? What does your aftercare look like? Anything that's part of the experience that you want to have is something that you can and should negotiate around. And it really is as simple as being open and advocating for yourself. Ooh, we'll be shadowing as a practice bottom tomorrow night. That is very exciting. I hope that goes well. Stepping up and doing more things. Sounds like a good time. Okay. I don't know why. I just suddenly feel very tired. Okay. I just like suddenly hit me. All right. Oh, I'm going to have to drive. All right, cool. And I don't have anything caffeinated. Fun for me. Yay. Okay. I just can't get over the fact that it's called the Slave Pit. That's like a crazy name for a place. It's very on the nose. But yes. I guess maybe I should also say too, hopefully I can describe like how you do like how do you phrase the communication? It's very simple, right? You're not being bossy, but you are saying, Like, I'm really curious about trying this. I would love to try this. I like to have a scene where I get to do this, blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's all it has to be. Like, when I'm negotiating pickup play with somebody, like, if I'm, like, let's say I'm going to a big event, I'm in a Discord server, I'm maybe talking to people, like, I first of all, I'm, like, probably posting something, but if I'm responding to someone who has a listing, I'll say, like, hey, I saw that you're interested in doing this one thing. That's something I'm really interested in trying. Are you still available to like potentially talk about and negotiate something? And then we talk about, okay, what's our style with play? Is it sexual or not? What's our availability like for a scene? How do we relate to the kind of play that we both want to do together? What's our concept for the scene? Is it going to be heavy role play or not? On down the list. And then hopefully from that we determine like kind of roughly what a scene could look like and what the style of it might be. Are most kinksters leftists? Seen as something conservatives wouldn't do. Oh no, there's definitely conservative kinksters. I would say, depends on where you live geographically. I think online there's a huge bent towards leftist and liberal kinksters over conservative ones. But I've definitely met like conservative people that are in the kink scene. They tend to gravitate more towards like the swinger side and like private play. From what I've noticed, I mean, shocker, they don't like value like community maybe as much as like lefty people do. So, and a lot more of them are married. So, a lot of them, a lot of more are monogamous. A lot more of them are married. What are you doing, puppy? Oh my goodness, this is such a big yawn. Hi. Hi, girl. Look at you. Do you want to come over here? You want to come over here? What are you doing, honey? I'll get your stretchies out, young man. Hello. Oh, sweet baby, come here. Oh, don't roll over onto the camera. Don't roll. Oh, you're rolling onto the camera. Oh. Come here. Come here. Oh my god, this dog. Okay. You are ridiculous. You are so funny. What are you doing, my fluffy little baby? Yeah, do you want to join us for the end of the stream? Do you want to join us for the end of the stream, ma'am? Do you want to help me answer some questions? Wanted to add that I'm also autistic and ADHD, and finding your channel when looking for info on puppy play sparked a big interest in kink and BDSM for me. Hell yeah. I was already into it, but it made me learn more about the community and kind of that I don't have kinks I don't have. Oh yeah. Little cutie patoot. Are you a little cutie patoot? Are you a little coopy tootie? Are you my little coopy tootie? Yeah. The adoring public awaits you. Let's look at the adoring public wants your presence. That is, you have such an angelic face. You have such an angelic presence. Look at you. The people, they love you. They love you. They're not here for me. They're here for you. Well, maybe. They're at least here for me in the sense that I can answer their questions. They have no expectations for you whatsoever. You're just here to be cute. All right, answer a question from Ezra. I didn't mean to send that, oops. I have a long-term play partner who I play with, and we have very different desires at times. Super common. I'm inserting that part. I can have difficulty with that sometimes. What sort of things would you do in such a scenario? I love my partner, and my people-pleasing side often takes over, and I forget to do what I want. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have a book for you. We're grabbing a book. We're grabbing a book. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. We're grabbing a book. Okay. All right. So there is, hopefully I can get this to focus. Oh my god, I smell the book. Yeah. There you go. Checking it out. Good. Doggo approved. All right. So this is the book. It's called Hot and Unbothered. You can see I have lots of notes about this book. So there is a whole section in here. I'm going to try and find it. And oh, here we go. I just went past it. It's in, let's see, how to repair a boundary mistake. Ah, yes. How to navigate. It's chapter 11. It's how to navigate desire discrepancies. And you can see, look, there's a rose toy and a ball gag, and rope and some other things in there. There's pills, which makes me a little concerned, but okay. So there's a whole section in here that's just about how to deal with desire discrepancies and having different like sexual boundaries in terms of like what you want to do, and especially like mismatched libidos. So I would go through this, and let me see. Trying to find, there's like one thing in here specifically that I'm like trying to find. There's like questions that you both can go through together in this. Maybe it's not like a quick, that maybe, there's like tips in here on how to do like conscious compromises. So your like ultimately compromise is probably going to be part of the solution, but doing it in a way that's, it's literally the last chapter of the book as well though, right? After this is the conclusion. So it's the final thing. But it gives you tools for how to think about compromise that's not just like doing what your partner wants and getting out of a people-pleasing place where you're first independently evaluating like what you both really want, what you both really need, irrespective of what your partner thinks. Where your limitations are on your must-haves versus your wanna-haves. And how to meet in the middle in a way that's not either self-sacrificing or trying too hard to like make the other person happy for their sake, because that's not going to be sustainable ultimately. So I think that's kind of like the quick summary of like how to navigate that. But it's very common for relationships, especially like with monogamy, where the answer isn't just like, well, play with other people. Do scenes with other people who like the same things that you do if your partner isn't into it. Because that's obviously an easy answer, but jumping into non-monogamy because of that is not a great idea, even if people do it that way. But yeah. I love books and will take any recs on BDSM and kink books. Currently reading Unfuck Your Kink. Yeah, this is not explicitly, this is like a general like sex and relationship book. But I mean, from the drawings you could tell, like kink is definitely included in this. And I think even if this is tailored for vanilla sexuality, these same tips more or less work for kink as well, especially if you're also in a romantic and sexual relationship in addition to kink too. I don't know if there's an audiobook for it. I don't know. I got this used at Powell's. It might have an audiobook. I like physical books because obviously notes, right? Things I can go back to and quickly reread if this is a topic I want to revisit. But if you like audiobooks, there might be one. All right, I'm going to answer one more question and then we are wrapping it up because girlfriend needs to get going, and I am probably going to run into a little bit of traffic. Okay. This is just a freebie. Section 31 is a Star Trek TV show that's really bad. Tips for someone who is dealing with trauma with impact play in the past to reincorporate in scenes, maybe with something softer like spanking. So the way that I have done this in my personal life, caveat that like if you're dealing with trauma, I highly recommend doing anything under the advisement of a therapist who knows what you're doing. So if you are dealing with trauma triggers, you have somebody that can help you manage that and can be a sounding board on how you're engaging with it. Is step number one. Step two is, for me, I have specific trauma around whips. I've had a lot of experiences involving them, and it's taken a long time for me to feel comfortable being around them again. And the way that I started to feel comfortable with that is I found someone who was older, who was very, very highly respected, very, very highly skilled, who could give me a tasting in a controlled manner. And by controlled, I mean literally both that it was very titrated and also that like I was dictating what was happening in the experience. And we did a very short, intentional little whip sampling scene. And that helped me get confidence that like the thing that I was afraid of from my previous experiences did not have to happen again. And I could find people to do this with who were skilled and who would take care of me. And it's building little positive experiences with people that you very, very highly trust in scenarios that you are in full control of, where you are completely aware of what's going on. So rather than doing a traditional, throw caution to the wind, big old scene where you're playing really intensely and you're going to be crying and this and that and the other, just doing really, taking it really back to basics, doing really small scenes where you're building in as much positivity and good feelings as possible around that, doing things that feel really affirming to you, like adding praise in there, making and practicing making those communication lines really open. Like, I wouldn't even start doing anything like this until you feel like 1000% confident with your safe words with the person you're going to be playing with, or in yourself as a person. So like, do those practice safe word scenes, build it up as just like an instinct in your head that like safe words become very easy, especially if you're going to be playing with trauma. And then if you decide you want to even tap into those areas, then you start with like doing really small intentional scenes in an environment that you feel comfortable in, that's familiar to you, with the person you trust, that's very small, and you're taking lots of time to process between them. Like minimum, I would say 2 weeks between doing scenes like this. Ideally, maybe even a month, just to really make sure you're processing and not overwhelming your body, depending on kind of I don't know what level of trauma you're dealing with here. Is this like I see the toy and I start crying, or is this like, it makes me a little uncomfortable? Like, operate with from that as you will. But yeah, that's what I've done from my own experience, and it has helped. So, but it's an ongoing process. It's still something that there is, there's things. So yeah, it is what it is. You realize your 10 minutes behind the live chat. I know. Anyways, I need to get going, so we're gonna head out. Look at the angel. Look at her. She is so precious and so perfect. Hi, baby. I love you. You're so good. Okay. All right. We're going to get going, y'all. Thank you all so much for being here on this beautiful Friday evening. Stay safe. Have fun. Do not replace your sunscreen with coconut oil. Drink your water. And I'll talk to you all again very soon. Bye.